Well, traders, this week has been a pretty slow week when it comes to Forex, at least for myself. So after Monday, I had posted a couple of market analysis videos for the euro dollar and the dollar yen, but after Monday, I didn't actually take any trades for the remaining of the week here, partly because I was kind of preoccupied with another business I was handling in the e-commerce field. But outside of that, I wasn't really actively looking at the charts during the New York session, which is the main session that I typically trade myself. But today I wanted to go ahead and do a recap video of the week and see if there were any potential trades that I probably would have taken myself, at least for the euro dollar pair during the New York session. So we're going to jump into that and take a look at analysis here. So let's go ahead and jump right into that here. All right, welcome back. So in this video, like I said, we are doing a recap of the week, this past week. Today is November the 18th, 2022. It is Friday, the market is closed and everything, so no action going on right now for us to really look at specifically. But we're going to do an analysis of the euro dollar pair specifically for this past week, to see if there was any potential trades that I could have taken, even though I was pretty busy myself, so I wasn't really actively looking to trade after Monday of this week. So we are on the euro dollar pair here, so let's go ahead and jump in and actually start with the basics where I start off typically. Outside of checking for the news, I usually start off my charting on the 4-hour chart to make sure my major support and resistance levels are set up on the chart here. So as you can see with the line, yellow horizontal lines here, we got our major setup zones already set up. We actually have one that we can actually implement right at the top of that move here, looking at the rejection right up there and coming all the way back down to this main level here. So after that, pretty much jump down to the 1-hour chart and take a look, see what's happening, right? Now, like I said, this is pretty much this past week after Monday. I had set up different entry zones for the VIP entry zones group for them to look for potential trades that they could take themselves. But after Monday, I didn't take any trades. I wasn't actively monitoring the charts during the New York session anyway. So let's see what did actually develop, if there was any basic trades or entry zones that I could have set up for myself to look for any trades based on support and resistance, supply and demand, and trend trading. So let's go ahead and jump down to the 15-minute chart and let's see what we got going on. And this is very simple, quick, no indicators, basically just market structure and price action is all I trade off of, and that's all you need to be successful in trading here. So as you can see, Tuesday's entry zones that I had set up here for the group, I did go ahead and remove the remaining ones that I actually provide to the VIP students group for the VIP entry zones group specifically. Those are shared through that group only through their Discord membership. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So it is Tuesday going into Wednesday evening into the London session in this area here. So if we're looking at where price is, at least at this point, we're still hovering around that major resistance level, major support and resistance level from the 4-hour chart. So we don't really have a good direction to really go in. But what you can see here, this is a zone that I would actually consider a pretty nice consolidation zone for demand being set up here after we see that bullish move in the buy positions coming up here. So this is what I would typically have done, set up a demand zone right here after this rush of the movement going up. Now, though this looks like a good demand zone setup for potential buys, there's one problem here that would have kept me away from placing this trade, and that is I don't trade into a major support or resistance level from the 4-hour chart. And as you can see here, if we zoom in just a little bit, we are at the yellow horizontal line here, right? So demand zone, price shoots up, a lot of buying power comes up and breaks this high and breaks these highs and comes up to a new high here, right? But when price comes back down, typically what I'm looking for is the confirmation, the rejection wick showing that price wants to continue back up. That's all fine and well. Even if I would have gotten that here, I would not have taken this trade. I would not have took a buy position when price is going into that major resistance zone. So even though it did end up playing out, yes, it continued up. This would have been a good trade if I would have took a buy position here and aim for this high, about 30 pips or so. Sure, that would have been a winner. But that is against the trading rules that I use, so I need to stick to my rules and make sure that I'm staying consistent with what I know works for me. So this is a trade that I would not have taken a buy position on, even though it did play out. And you'll see this happen a lot. I mean, even trades do play out. If they don't fit your rules, just don't trade them. You got to stick and stay consistent with what works for you and what you found to be successful for your trading strategy. So this is a trade that I would not have taken even though it would have played out. So we'll take that out, even though this is a good demand zone, but we are at a major resistance level, so we don't trade it. So let's see what price does after that. So slowly kind of going up here, not very much action, not really a good direction that I would be looking at, especially on the 15-minute chart. So what happens here? Price starts to come back down a little bit. We are above the major support level at this point. So basically I would just be waiting for price to come back into that zone and see what it actually does. So that's what it does. Comes back, rejects the level, starts to come back up. Once I see that it did go back above it and stayed above it for quite a while, I'm confident that price may want to continue up. So now I'm looking for an entry zone. So after this first bounce happens here, what I'm doing is basically setting up a zone to see what price does here at the major support level now. So price does come back down, and that second time it comes back down into that, it does hover a little bit. We don't get a clear rejection of it here, but it's steady enough that it's rejecting that level. It wants to continue back up because it's bouncing off of it. It didn't shoot right through it, it didn't close below it or anything like that. So this would have been a good buy position to take. I wouldn't consider this a very high quality trade, but it's still been a valid buy position off of support and resistance. So if we took a buy position there, stop loss right below the lows of the previous movement, that's only about 15, well, I would have moved it to at least like 15 pips or so just to be safe. Give us some room to breathe, and then aim for this high here, this area here where price was kind of lingering around before it came down into that zone. So if I'm aiming from right there, that's about 28 pips, about a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. This would have been a good trade and a winner. As you can see here, we would have hit that towards that same trading section. So good trade there. We'll go ahead and move down, see what price wants to do there. Get a lot of rejection, so price is coming back down. Now this is the third time that it's actually tapping into that major resistance level, right? Now this, I still would have probably taken a buy position on this, and as you can see, I would have lost this trade here. So this would have been a trade that I would have taken here. Right at this closure of this candle, I would have seen this as a rejection of the major support, because we got a rejection wick here. Let me zoom into that a little bit for you. So price comes down into that zone, rejects here, and then closes above the major resistance support level at that point. I see this as a valid support and resistance trade. But like I always say in most of my videos, not every strategy is perfect. Not every strategy is going to be a winner. And this would have been a trade that I would have taken and I would have lost. So if I would have taken this and actually it made it about a 15 pip stop loss, just like the previous one, this would have been 15 pips that I would have lost on this trade, and I would have been aiming at this zone here, kind of like the same zone that I was looking at for the previous trade that actually won. So 28 pips on this one, I would have lost 15 on this one. So it is what it is. Losers happen in some trades. No perfect strategy is gonna, or no strategy is gonna be perfect and 100% winner. So one winner, one loser on that one. So let's see what else happens on this pair. Price continues to push down. Got a lot of movement down here. So now this is interesting because once you get this all this movement here and this long closure below the resistance level, that's the support level that is now a resistance. Now you have a potential for another sell entry that's actually coming up right here. In this rejection wicks here, this would have been a continuation of a trend for me here. So I would have looked at a sell position right around this area. So price broke below these wicks, closed below it, came back down and tapped into it and gave us the rejections that we were looking for. So this would have been a nice sell position here. Stop loss right above the wicks in that zone, about 13 pips or so. And then you would have been aiming for the low of that session here, right? Or at least that movement. So that's only about 17 pips. That's only about 1.3 risk reward. So I would have at least adjusted it to at least a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, because I want price to break this low as a trend continuation. So this would went down to about 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, would have put us at 26 pips. So this would have been a good winner as well on this one here. And this is very simple. This is trend trading strategy on this particular trade at least. So you can see we got a lot of movement coming down at a low created here, and then the movement continues to push against that and breaks that low. So this is a continuation of a trend. So you set up a zone here, wait for price to come back into that zone. As long as you get the confirmation, you get that rejection, that is a valid entry for a sell position on that. So 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, valid trade, good trade, 127 pips on that one. So let's see what else happens and see if there's any other entry zones that are being set up as price continues to do what it needs to do. So if I wanted the price to actually continue on this trend that I took this position on, I would want it to break below here, well below here, and actually come back up to test that. So this would have been another entry zone that I would have set up in the hopes that price would have wanted to come down further and then came back up to test it. But as you can see, that's not what happened at all, right? And that's perfectly fine, because at that time we don't know this movement here. We don't know that this is going to happen. I'm just going off the previous movement and the trend that it's going. We're going down, so I'm looking for sells, right? So hopefully price would break well below it, come back up to test it. That doesn't happen, so not a valid entry zone anymore after that price breaks above it and stays above it at that point. So now what happens after that though? Price comes back down, and actually this break that I was looking for a potential rejection to sell on becomes a support, a temporary support for that one. So price comes up, back down to that zone, and actually rejects it multiple times. So this would have looked like a good buy position. Unfortunately, it does not fit my actual trade strategy. It doesn't fit support and resistance off of major levels. It doesn't fit supply and demand for me, and it doesn't fit trend trading for me. But even though you have all of those rejections, this looks like a good buy position, but because it doesn't fall into my plan and this consistency that I want to hold for my trades, I don't take that. So price comes all the way back up into that major resistance zone, right? And then we're basically just consolidating. So now when I see something like that though, this is a good sign that we have a potential for a supply and demand trade to be set up, because price is consolidating a lot in that area. So what I'm doing is waiting for price to show indication of a lot of volume coming in, whether it's going to be buying power or selling power. So what happens here? Price goes up a little bit, comes back down, up a little bit, comes back down. Nothing very much big movement or anything like that. Now until we see that price shoots all the way down and breaks below the support level here, right? So this is a good indication that price wants to continue moving down. So what I'm doing is setting up a rejection level at the support level here, and hoping that price comes back, rejects, and give me the confirmation that it wants to go down. Now, this is what I want price to do. Come back down this way, right? Now, price does break below here, right? And comes back up into that zone. Now, unfortunately, we don't get a confirmation to actually sell. We don't get a closure showing that price wants to continue moving back down. So we don't take a sell. And this is what I want to make sure I reiterate a lot, because even with a lot of these entry zones, this is what I'm hoping or anticipating for price to do. If price doesn't do what I'm looking for it to do to give me confirmation for a trade, I'm not trading it. And as simple as that. You got to stay consistent. Don't rush into trading. Don't trick yourself into seeing something that's not actually there. So there's an entry zone, yeah, sure. Is price doing what you're looking for it to do to confirm that you can go with that entry zone? If it doesn't, you don't trade it, just move on. So price continues up, breaks above the major resistance level, becomes a support now. So now we come back down, we'll bounce off of it, and then we're just consolidating again. So not a very good amount of movement to really show any importance in what we want to do with the price at this point, right? So what happens next though, because this is a good look at what a potential good sell position could be developing here. Got a lot of selling power that comes in, pushes right through the support level, the major support level, and closes well below it, creates a new low. So, and I hope if you guys follow the channel and follow the trading strategy, I hope you see what I'm getting ready to draw here. This is a valid sell entry zone here. Now the only thing is, price does come back up, which I would be anticipating for it to do, reject, and then come back down for a sell position, right? But we do not get the rejection that I'm looking for on the 15-minute chart. We don't get that rejection wick, so I don't take a sell on this one here. Now, if you would have waited and seen that, okay, price did come back up above that zone, but it immediately came right back down below the major support level, and it becomes a resistance again. This could have been, depending on if you felt comfortable with it, because this is not a trade that I would have taken myself, because it's not giving me the confirmation that price wanted to reject that level and continue down. I didn't get the rejection wick, so I didn't take a trade, right? But if you see price pushes right below that level and closes below that level, this could have been an okay trade. I would have considered this a low quality trade, but it still would have been valid, and it still would have been one that you would have made money off of. If you were aiming for the lows that it previously had here, that's a good 27 pips right there, and you're only risked about 15. Almost a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. So if you wanted to cap it all the way into that 1 to 2 exactly, you could have aimed for that at roughly 30 pips, and that would have gave you the 1 to 2, and you still would have had a winning trade there. So that's pretty much what happened, at least for this week here. Like I said, I didn't take any of these trades. This is just a recap, an analysis of what trades I could have potentially set up for on the New York session on the euro dollar pair if I was trading off of my strategies, which are again support and resistance, supply and demand, and trend trading. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, that way you know when new content is available and when I go live for my trading sessions. And like I mentioned, even though I didn't take any trades after Monday, I still provide the entry zones for the multiple currency pairs for those group members that are part of the VIP entry zones group. If you are interested in joining that group, all you have to do is visit SyllaFX.com and you can join the VIP entry zones group from there. Just click on VIP entry zones here and you can sign up for the group here. It is a paid membership service, so if you're not interested in that, you can definitely still get the course, the full SyllaFX trading course that I cover all the information and strategies that I use and the rules that I implement for myself. The course is literally just $1. I feel like this is something that should be available to everyone, so I only made it literally $1. So if you can afford $1, you can at least get that education under your belt, learn the basic trading strategies of support and resistance, supply, demand, and trend trading. Outside of that, there's also the free Discord group you can join if you're just interested in communicating with different traders that do this for a living and do this full time and are successful in trading Forex. And if you just have questions, if you just want to mingle around and see kind of get the vibe of the group and everything, so that's available there. There's the paid VIP entry zones group, the Discord free community group, and the full Discord, the full trading course available for $1, all on SyllaFX.com. Again, if you guys enjoyed the content, definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Outside of that, that was the market analysis for the remaining of the week for the euro dollar pair here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Want to become a full-time trader? Start making more money today without a full-time 9 to 5 or working graveyard shifts. With SyllaFX, you'll receive trade entry zones every day for different currency pairs. This also includes the full SyllaFX trading course, live trading sessions, and the Discord community of profitable traders. Visit SyllaFX.com today and join the VIP entry zones group, and start winning your trades with the simple and easy to follow trade entries, and watch your profits grow each day. Go to SyllaFX.com now and join the entry zones group.